Bam! Welcome to another edition of CLTFC Fan TV. For the fans, by the fans, damn it. Tonight we have Lee.
What's up?
Who is feeling a little tired because he hung out a little late last night.
Yeah.
Representing for the fans. And often enough and thankful always is Vaughn. The vaunted Vaughn. Look it up, kids. It's a word. And we're so glad to have him on, too. We're going to talk about some stuff tonight. So, Lee, what are we talking about?
Well, we're going to talk about the Charlotte FC Football Club. That's what we're going to talk about.
Oh, shit, you're right. You're right. Hey, I'm
yeah.
glad you said that because I'm watching. I was in Raleigh for 10 years, and I support North Carolina teams as well. I got the Carolina Hurricanes game, playoff game right now, third period, on in the background. So if I react to that or look up and do something, facts, man, for life, for everything.
Live show. We need live score updates.
That's it. You got to put it in.
I'll give it to you. Just as long as the NHL doesn't come after us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Man, you didn't get permission from the NHL to give live updates.
Right.
Well, the algorithm will get you, man. Don't play around with those zeros and ones.
That's the truth. It will get you. It gets us quite often. So we'll see what's up. So what's up, Vaughn? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited to be back talking with you guys and talking to all things Charlotte FC because we got some good, we got some bad, we got some pointed topics. It's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, let's chat. Maybe at some point we reached out to a Seattle Fan TV channel, and I know they're a little behind us, so they might be joining us later. But regardless, as always, we'd like to give a shout out to the shipping department. We love the shipping department. The shipping department's going on vacation, a little disappointed, but whatevs. We love the shipping department. And of course, Adam is always hooking us up. He's doing the giveaways for us or helping us. We're working together for giveaways this week. We've got this picture. Yes. So if you would like to enter a chance to win, it would be #trio.
You know what? I just realized,
Yeah.
Adam, is that Guzman down the middle? Because I saw Jalen Lindsay, I saw Shanashiki, and then Fuchs in the background. But did I see a Guzman down in the middle? Pull that back up, Lee.
All right, I got you, man. I got you.
Is that? Oh yeah, because
Oh, very good. So it's not a trio. Well, we'll leave it at trio since that's.
We'll leave it at trio, but it's actually a quattro.
Yes, it is a quattro. Adam, man, we appreciate you, man. You do good stuff. If you haven't checked him out, check him out.
And I met Adam and his wife at the game right before down on the field, which was great. Good stuff.
Yeah, and so just to confirm, you were right, JT. One time, JT's right. Could you believe it?
Well, if it has to be for someone who's helping us out and helping out the fans, I'll take it. That's what we call a win-win.
That's it. It's a win-win. All right. So, Vaughn, we got to talk about some games, right? We'll start off with the Vancouver game. It's not so bad in result-wise, but performance-wise, what did you think?
Crisis averted. Like that was my first feeling, was like sigh of relief. We don't have to talk about this game in a negative light. We got the job done, win at home, and beat the team that was all depleted. Wasn't the prettiest, but I think it was a deserving win. I mean, by the end of it, we created chances, right? Like what shone through for this game for me was we had 18 shots. They weren't all on target. That's something we got to work on. But ultimately, we were more goal dangerous. We had more opportunities. We were quicker on the trigger. We were playing with confidence. We had guys all over the pitch creating opportunities in and around the box and in our final third. Obviously, I'm sure we're going to get to the point where we're talking about Vargas and the lightning bolt that he provided coming on the field. But I thought Alcivar had a fantastic game. I thought that there were just a lot of bright spots in this game. The negative, and it's part of what we can talk about for this week, I'm sure, is that we're conceding early and having to claw back into it. Twice this week, we saw the goals in the first couple minutes. But what's good is that we had positive responses after those moments and got ourselves back into the game. But that is a pattern I do not want to see rearing its head often. And right now, this week was not good for that.
Yeah, and we could touch on that because that's something I wanted to bring up. I just don't want to get too far into the conversation yet. So, yeah, we had 18 shots. 6 of them were on goals against Vancouver, right? You mentioned the defensive errors, right? To me, we've always kind of had those errors that other team just hasn't kind of scored from those because like Kalina making a save or for whatever reason, right? So it could be a lot worse. But yeah, like they had that young keeper in, and to think that we only had 6 shots on target, right? Is I don't know, man. I just don't understand what we need to do, right? It seems like we play slow football, right? It's slow, it's predictable. And then go ahead, Vaughn. I'm just going to stop right there and let you go.
Well, no, I think, part of it is we're just now getting into the preferred formation. Like the 4-3-3, we're just starting to implement that with the correct personnel to operate it at the MLS level. And I think we've seen that it can be effective in creating opportunities, right? Like one of the big things that people were starting to complain about the 4-4-2 diamond was the lack of width, that we stayed really, really, really narrow. Yep. And a lot of the frustrations in the Montreal game was, hey, we went back out there in the 4-4-2. It was really, really narrow. It wasn't a pretty game. We didn't create a lot of chances, right? Well, You flip that. We go into the 4-3-3. We're creating chances. You're going to have days that those looks don't end up on goal. But what I saw consistent patterns of play that we haven't been seeing consistently. We're now starting to see the center backs ping those balls to the wingers. The wingers are getting legitimate width. And you also got a big part of Mars' system, which is your outside backs, specifically Harrison Awful, getting inverted and getting inside of the wingers and being involved in the attack. And people are like, hey, Harrison Awful, he's looking great in these minutes he's finally getting.
Do you think he's going to take over for Lindsay in this new 4-3-3?
I said from the very beginning when we had those two guys on the roster that neither one of them is a 3,000-minute player right now.
Fair.
Awful for where he is in his career. Lindsay for his injury history.
Mm-hmm.
If either one of those guys was getting anywhere close to 3,000 and was an every game starter, I would be really concerned about their legs, their health, their longevity, all those sorts of things. So I thought that there was going to be like a 1,500-minute split between the two of them. I think it's probably going to end up shying more like 2,000 for Lindsay, 1,000 for Awful. But at the end of the day, hey, great. We've got two guys that we can plug and play and that they bring similar skill sets. But obviously we can see so far Awful's a little bit more dangerous getting forward and is a little more comfortable in attack.
Yeah, so, I mean, to that point about Jalen's injuries and that sort of thing, right? I mean, our back line is kind of starting to get beat up a little bit, right? Fuchs is injured. I mean, McCoon, I don't know what he was doing last night, but, I mean, somebody had to play there, I guess.
McCoon did not have a good game.
No. And so, I mean, that's it, right? So the Vancouver game, I feel like we should have had more shots on goal, right? At least test his keeper. He's 17 years old. It doesn't have to be a bullet or whatever, but, like I think it was when we got our second goal, right? I think he fumbled it. It's just like he didn't scoop it up like he should have, right? And that caused us to be able to get that goal. I think that was the game. I'm just trying to remember. I get my games confused when we had the double games. And so
he spilled the first shot on goal.
Yeah.
It ended up going out and getting cleared by one of the Vancouver players. It went out for a throw-in, and that throw-in was taken very quickly. Throw-in to Swiderski. Swiderski crossed it to Shinyashiki and headed it in. Like that opening goal was right after Anchor got kind of rattled.
Yeah. And I mean, again, right, I guess we could go ahead and talk about it, but like all of a sudden we've started giving up these early goals. I mean, it's good that we stay composed, but like, we can talk about the US Cup as well. Right?
Question. if I can just jump, do you think, because we're always talking about Miguel's system and how it's not producing that many shots. We're always talking about, towards the goal. But do you think it's also the system is at fault too on the back end and letting these early goals come up?
We haven't been in the system. I think that's the thing. We haven't been in the 4-3-3. Okay. I think we're just now getting to the point that we're in the true 4-3-3. We started like the first couple games of the season in it. That's when Mackenzie Gaines was starting, Yordi Reyna was starting. Swiderski missed that opening game in the DC United game. We didn't have quite the midfield figured out yet. All of those things were in flux. And now that we've got Jóźwiak in the roster, now that we've got Vargas, we've had Swiderski here for a period of time. Like, we have the guys that are going to be our starters at those positions. And so I think we haven't really, until this Vancouver game, seen it in full force. And that's the thing is I think what is encouraging to me is I see those patterns of play. I see guys getting into dangerous spots. I thought Ben Bender had a rough game. He was struggling in making the progressive pass.
Vancouver, against Vancouver?
In the Vancouver game, I felt that Ben Bender, he was doing really, really well. He was finding the half space. He was getting into good spaces where he was receiving the ball, but then he either took too long to release it, and it felt like I had a pretty head-on view from behind the goal for where I was sitting in the supporter section, and I could see a pass that was a progressive pass with a clear lane to an attacker in front of him, and he just didn't make the pass over and over and over again. He was a little bit off on his timing. He was a little off on his hesitancy, maybe not seeing that pass, and he either would end up having to recycle the ball, which he's doing a good job of retaining possession, or he would not take the shot and a defender would close to him. And I think that was one thing that people were complaining about Bender, like, hey, he had the shot. He didn't take the shot. Why is he not taking it? Well, he's not in a dangerous spot to take the shot. But I think he's also a little slow to notice when to release that ball when it's like the last pass needed to get that goal. That's the pass he was making early on in the season.
Yeah, I mean, you try to think about his age and that sort of thing, right? I mean, you can't expect a guy to have 17 awesome games, right? You kind of expect it to drop a little bit, right? But like some of the people I've started seeing on social media now are starting to say, well, maybe it's just time to bench him and that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know what to say about that, really. Not yet, especially since now we got players going away for their countries and that sort of thing, right? We're kind of still floating around square one, in my opinion. But I mean, yesterday in the cup game, I wasn't impressed with his play, and again, I tried to not be too critical of him just because he is young and, fresh out of school or whatnot, right? And coming into the MLS. But I don't know, like you said, it's slow. I just feel like once we get into that final third of the pitch, the whole team sort of either needs to play that tiki-taka football, right, and walk the damn ball in, or we pass it all the way back. And it's just like, it's so predictable. And then for Mars to say this is one of the best games he's seen us play or whatever, like I'm paraphrasing for sure, about the game last night, I was like, well, we watching the same game? Like, to me, it was, we played like shit last night. We got our asses handed to us. And I mean, that's it. We're out the cup. It would have been nice to bring it home, and we get to play them again here soon, right? To kind of let them know that, hey, it's a one-off. But personally, man, last night's game was shit.
And it got a little salty too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say when I think I was on the preview episode for the Philadelphia Union game with you guys, and at that time I said the two teams in this league, and especially in the Eastern Conference, that I think we are just not built to play well against are Philadelphia and New York Red Bulls. The press and teams that close space and are just like constantly on you are for our style of play, it's not good.
That's what I'm saying, though, right? If we're gonna play that style of play, we got to make the passes quicker. Right.
Well, what I would have liked to have seen is actually I would have liked to have seen us play out of the back more in this game against Red Bulls, because what happened was we saw consistently the ball would end up to Kalina's feet, and it was like, yeet the ball, man, get it the heck out of our end, and playing on that compact field. And what happened? The goal that we scored was exactly that. It was a direct ball from Kalina. So Shinyashiki did a good job bringing it down, and he played it over to Rios. Rios, fantastic job finishing it. But it's like that positioning that Rios had for that goal. I was telling somebody earlier that is a position that Swiderski's not ending up in.
Right.
Swiderski's not getting looks like that. He's getting looks from 18 to 20 yards out. So like Rios, awesome. I'm glad he finished that. Now what I want to see is I want to see the ball getting in that position more often. We played a really good team in New York Red Bulls, right? What New York Red Bulls did, their 3 goals, the distance from the goal line to where they made the shot, all 3 goals combined was maybe 7 yards. Like they were all on Kalina's doorstep.
Yeah, but that goes back to like at the beginning of that season, I feel like our defense was one of our strongest suits, right? It was, and here lately it seems to, now we got top heavy. Obviously, we're not scoring goals or anything, and the defense has sort of started becoming a little leaky. I mean, I think last night it took them like less than 90 seconds to score on us. It's like, I don't know, man. And then we're just chasing that game the whole game. It was just really frustrating to watch.
I felt like we were out muscled and out hustled.
Yes.
Like that was the way I felt after the Red Bulls game, was like, man, McCoon was getting absolutely burned. Klimala had a monster game against us. Like, he was so good yesterday.
Do you think we should start Jan over McCoon? I'm not even sure what's going on with Walks at this point. I mean, assuming Fuchs start, right?
I think Sobochinski needs his minutes. I really like what Sobochinski brings. But I think right now, the system that Mar wanted to put out there, I mean, we saw it. It was, I want to have Carujo get the ball and send it long. And Carujo, he's doing that a lot. His hit rate on long passes is not stellar right now.
Jan's pretty good at that, though, from the games I watched him play.
But that's the problem, is that Jan is like a left-footed Carujo, in my opinion. Like, he likes being that guy that will step out and close space to a midfielder. He likes to have the ball at his feet and ping a pass. He's definitely got some height to him, but he's much younger. He's not quite as physical as Carujo. He's not quite as there, and I think that's why he's the number 2 right now. And maybe even number 3 at left center back.
Guzman needs to dye his hair back. I think since he's dyed his hair blonde, he's his games have got a little off, man.
That's a Samson situation. Yeah,
the
magic's gone.
What do you think, JT?
I think that TT's hair is the most interesting. He's got the 2, right? The double tone, half blonde and half black. Yeah. I wonder TT just rolling around in Charlotte, because this type of stuff I think about, this is the deep insight I'm trying to bring to the situation, is when he's rolling around in Charlotte and no one has a clue who he is, and he still feels like a pimp rolling around because he knows who he is.
Oh, pimping ain't easy, man.
We're like, who the fuck is this dude rolling up in South Park with the hairstyle like that? So yeah, with Carujo at least going all blonde, but I almost didn't recognize him because I guess he didn't do his goatee blonde, but just in bleach blonde. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah, Alcivar's got the
hair. Yeah, right. I know. That would be kind of fun. Not gonna do it, but it. I don't know. I'm just, to me, like, we still have it. We're supposed to get one more key player, right? Which is supposed to be an attacking midfielder.
That's what they say.
Sometime in the near future, like in the next month. And so, to Vaughn's point earlier about now we're doing the 4-3-3, it's the first time we're truly implementing it. So, and the Jaws and Carroll are leaving for their stuff with Poland. And it's like, when are we going to have everyone that is worthy of starting, or just the lineup we need? We're out of the cup stuff, so we don't have to think about the middle of the week games. When are we all going to be together and just do 4-3-3, 4-3-3, 4-3-3, and just learn it? Because every single time I'm in the seats and they start passing it back to the back, all the way back, most casual fans like me, in the sense of not knowing, the strategery of it all, it's like, what the hell? Shoot it. What are you doing? But Mars, Biggie Smalls, his system. So it's like, when do we see the system blossom into its full flowerness of awesomeness and stuff like that? And I think we're getting close, but we still have to add a couple more key pieces. Get the Polish guys back, and then practice, play. So what? By mid-August, we're really clicking on all cylinders. Hopefully.
Probably.
I mean, I think that's. Go ahead, Vaughn. I'll let you say.
No. I think within the next 3 weeks or so, we'll start seeing consistent patterns. I think that's the big thing. Like, I need to see what we did against Vancouver. Can we do that consistently? Right? Like, most teams, when they take 18 shots, are going to get more than 6 on frame, and we know a bunch of those 6 were Vargas towards the end of that game. I think that once those guys get more, like I said, 3 or 4 weeks of time playing together on the practice field, and then going out on every week and playing together, because I think that's the other thing. Right now, we're having to heavily rotate the roster. I think that was part of what Mar was trying to do in this game, where it was going for it. He played the same lineup for Red Bulls that had started against Vancouver. To me, there's a certain risk in that.
Well,
I was expecting.
that depends on how you look at it, right? I mean, the Vancouver game was not a really dominant, great game for us.
It was 180 degrees outside, and we were all melting, and we weren't having to run around like the players were. Like those players that just ran 90 minutes, and
in the black kits too. That was the thing. I was like, my God, for the first tester of the season, to see how it's going to feel like in mid-July in Bank of America. And like, that would be the game that we have, the home game with the Mint City or whatever it is, the black black kits. I mean, so many people wore their black kits, and man, that supporter side of the stadium, the way the sun sets, we're not going to be getting away from that until like September. But man, it was hot.
Yeah, but my point is like, come on, is that going to be our excuse every game until we get to October?
No. But I'm saying, if those guys played 90 minutes or were the starters, were expected to go out there and play with that energy, and then they play in that heat, and then 3 to 4 days later, or 3 days later, they have to fly up to New York, New Jersey, and play again. Right? Yeah. They did not have recovery time. Those guys played a very grueling game.
Is that mismanagement then by Mars?
It's not what I would have gone with, but I think the intent was, let me throw out, who I view as the best players in my system, and go for it. And if it's not working, I'm going to rotate. But I think that was a certain risk, especially against a Red Bull side that, like we were talking about, they got legs. Like, that was the way Mar talked about them. They've got legs. They hustle. They run down your throat, and they press the hell out of you. And to have guys that had that little bit of recovery time, that was the part that I was just surprised to see. But I thought we actually did fairly well with it, because we didn't try playing out of the back. We did just clear lines, hold possession. But what happened was we were really, really bad in transition moments.
Well, I mean,
Carujo and Guzman, or excuse me, Carujo and McCoon had really, 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 really bad games.
Yes, they did. But I mean, there's a couple of points to take from there, right? Okay, so I know now the new thing is the depth of a team in the MLS, right? And I know that a lot of teams are starting to complain about that, especially for next year when all the new tournaments sort of come into play. Now we fly to Seattle, right? So I mean, that's not enough really to rest, right? And I'm sure at least 80% of the people that started last night are probably going to be starters, right, for this weekend. And then, like Churchy asked, did he start that 11 to win? I think he did. Like, I think he wanted to go far into the cup, at least bring a game to Charlotte, right? So that way they can tell us what that 18th ticket's going to be for. Because, and
I think that's why ultimately Mar was happy. Like, we can all agree it wasn't a pretty game. But I think what the team did do is there was good energy. Like, I think we matched the Red Bulls' energy for the most part. I thought that we were fighting for every loose ball. I think that the system that Mar put in place in terms of the patterns they were executing, and they didn't get time to practice that during the week. Like he acknowledged that. He was like, we had one game of prep or
Well,
one day of
what
prep.
do we practice though? That's the question. What do we practice? Because our corners, our corners is a whole nother story, man. You know, it's like we don't know what to do, right? And
I don't think Alcivar is consistent at getting it into the box. I think that's a big
problem. Isn't it Alcivar always the one taking the corners?
For the most part, yeah.
But regardless, it's like, you know, I would rather us like try to ping that ball around inside the box, but once it goes outside that box, it's going all the way back to Kalina, and we're going to reset and start again. It's like I just don't understand why we're so scared to shoot outside the box. As long as it gets on target, I don't care, right? Because then again, it's just going to make the defenders have to respect that at some point during the game, and then you can pass it around them and tap it in. But I don't know. I was just so disappointed last night in the way we played, the way the team looked, you know, set pieces, just the whole thing. It was like, man, this is just, and I don't know if that's because the team's been doing okay the rest of the season. Now I'm just expecting them to play. But yeah, I mean, like when Fuchs isn't there, you know, we seem to be off, man.
You know, the thing is, though, even though we were upset with last night's game, and I think it was frustrating, it wasn't. There's going to be people that disagree with me. We were in that game.
That's bullshit, Vaughn.
It was 1-1 at it was 1-1 at halftime. We were the ones possessing the ball and looking more dangerous. It was our best stretch of play right after the start of the second half, and they kind of scored against the run of play. As I said, we got Klimala. Like what happened? It was a loose ball, and Klimala beat Carujo. Carujo made one bad play on it. Carujo then wasn't able to close the space. McCoon wasn't able to keep the ball coming across the box. Mora wasn't able to catch up to the runner. Kalina wasn't able to come off his line. Nothing happened right on that play. It was just a mistake-laden play. But outside of that, I mean, it was 2-1. It was 2-1 until the 92nd minute.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get that. We just didn't create. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know. It's just I've rewatched the game again today just to kind of make sure that I you know, because obviously being out and about.
God bless you. That Rich video was like
you rewatched the game again today just because you wanted to get that feeling you had from last night cranked up again.
No. I always do it, man. I watch the game in the stadium or out, and then I come home where I can actually kind of pay more attention to the game and be able to sound somewhat intelligent.
And you live out in the country a little bit, so like you go, you know, you got your gun, you go shoot it off or something.
Oh, that's right after we like drag in the possums, right? We just we sit down, we skin them, and we watch soccer, man.
Don't forget
you know what everybody does.
Always skin them and gut them. If you don't gut them, you don't want to eat any kind of roadkill or anything like that.
We don't eat them. We just throw that part to the dogs, man. We just use it so we can like make jackets and stuff. It's come over one day, I'll show you.
CLTFC Fan TV possum scarf.
Yeah, right. That's for the
that's what they. Hey, just let me digress real quick, because you know Christian McCaffrey was at the game and was the main guy, and you know the whatever the crowning person or person that gets crowned. I don't know exactly what they call them, but because I was close to him, and he was getting instructions from like you know, one of the marketing people or whomever, these people, on what to do, like when to sit down, crown put on. And he didn't know about the scarf stuff. And I just remember, you know, I was like, listen, I was like, dude, Christian, because I'm like 5 feet away. I'm like, hey, man, when you get up there, and he can't see my eyes in these huge sunglasses. So he's like, who's this guy talking to me? I'm like, dude, when you get up there, make sure you go crazy with that scarf. But I felt so bad for him because he had it twisted. And he didn't quite understand. So he's got like this twisted, knotted up scarf. He's like going, ah. And I was like, oh, man, I forgot to tell him to make sure you see what it says on the scarf. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. No, but to the point, yeah, the camera work last night was horrendous, man. Oh, my God.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hurricanes 3-1, 6:59 in the third period. Let's go, Canes.
This is a soccer show. It's about Charlotte FC
Hey, man.
and everything Charlotte
Hey,
FC.
hey, if you got JT on, shit's just gonna go sideways sometimes, especially when he's got the Hurricanes on. Anyway,
Yeah. And again, for the folks that might have joined late, if you type hashtag trio in the comments, you'll get entered in for the giveaway that Adam is so graciously nice to give us. So, Vaughn, any final thoughts on the last two games that we played?
I will say I wanted to point out there was a comment from I think Zeely. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. That was talking about Joe Zwiak's header. That one should have gone in.
Yes,
that one
no, I agree
would have
100%.
changed the complexity of the game. 100%.
Yes, 100%. But anyways, right? It is what it is. We love Charlotte. Shoot the ball at the goalkeeper. Get more on target. Out of 18 shots, and only 6 are on target. It's no good. Practice some corners.
Did y'all ever see that clip that the club put out of Mars talking to that 17-year-old goalkeeper after the game?
Yeah.
Went up to him and gave him some love and everything. I like to see that, because he knew the situation too, and obviously he's feeling good about the outcome of the game. But for him to go up and really, give some love to that, he didn't have to do that. I like that. That's a good character thing.
It is.
I like the name Max Anchor. Best goalkeeper name you could have.
Born to be a goalkeeper, huh?
Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on to Seattle versus Charlotte. For some reason, and I've been saying this for 2 to 3 weeks now, I feel like we're gonna get a point in Seattle. I don't know why. I just feel it.
We're due.
Because of MLS. That's how MLS works.
Right.
The game you shouldn't get anything is the one you end up blowing a team out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've kind of settled into their rhythm now, I think, Seattle, right? We seem to get in these teams when they're starting to warm up a little bit for sure. So,
well, Seattle's also had a lot of games. I think Seattle is the first team to play 20 games across all competitions. Because they just got bounced from Open Cup in the previous round. But they had Open Cup, they had MLS play, and of course their CCL run.
Yeah. And
what's CCL? What's CCL?
CONCACAF Champions League. So
that's the North American.
That's the big North American tournament that they are the first MLS team to win the tournament in its current form and iteration.
Current being the key word, because there's some people that will get pissed off and say no, they wasn't the first, but
they were the first.
They were the first. That's for sure. So what do you think we should expect this weekend? Same lineup minus is Jaws going to be around, or is he going to Poland? I think I
believe he will be in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in Poland.
So
Swiderski's going to be in Poland.
Yeah. For how long? If they keep winning, for how long will they be gone?
I think it's just 3 weeks.
Yeah, they've got a set of 3 games. Like they're going to be going there, training all together with the rest of the national team, playing 3 friendlies. Theoretically, sometimes you see those guys play like 2 and then go home. But no, they'll probably be there for all 3.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in a lot of places, but I'd love to be a fly on the wall and be able to understand Polish, to hear what Jaws and Swiderski say about Charlotte when they go back and hang out with their other fellow players who they know. And someone's going, so what's it like, MLS, Charlotte FC, or just Charlotte in general? I'm very curious on their impressions of being in our town, our city for a short period of time.
I don't see why Vargas wouldn't start. Do you, Vaughn?
I could absolutely see him starting. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
I can't wait to watch him play, man. That's probably one of the. I'm excited to see him play, man. At least when he comes on, he's definitely not afraid to attack it, like drive at players. He livens it up. That's for sure.
That was the thing we didn't talk about with the Vancouver game. The other positive, we talked about the ball getting out to the wingers, but both Vargas and Józwiak did a really good job of playing direct play, of being able to run at defenders and beat them. Right. Like that's what we really, really have struggled with when we've had Jordi Reyna out there, when we've had Mackenzie Gaines out there. That's the dangerous thing, that when the ball gets out wide wasn't happening. They were trying. Like Jordi Reyna would run at guys and he'd concede possession over and over and over again. But no, both of those guys have already shown the ability to take a defender on, beat them on the dribble, and create more dangerous opportunities because of that.
Yeah. Shit, I just lost my whole train of thought.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
pick it up on the tracks there, Lee.
yeah.
To the point of going straight at defenders, because I remember that sitting in the seat, or where I was at some point. So I'll walk around the stadium and talk to different people and stuff. But looking at Jaws on the left side and going straight at somebody, he seemed quick. It was quick. The speed was there. Even if you're trying to juke somebody, just like the fast twitch muscle of it. I mean, just to see that instead of stopping and thinking about where the ball needs to go and then playing it back and playing the chess game, it was more like go, 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 go. And that was fun to watch.
Well, I think it also opens up other things in the attack, right? Like when a defender knows that a player can run at him, he's going to possibly either stay a step off or be a little bit more aggressive in trying to close space, which means he's going to vacate other space.
Right.
And I think we've been desperately needing that.
Yeah, it's going to make us much more dynamic in attack.
It is. But I guess what I was thinking of earlier was like, look at Austin last year, right? They played games. They were in most of the games, I'd say, right? And then they just finished, like 13th or something, right? Something pretty low.
Well, they went on a really bad stretch, and then they did exactly what we're doing. They brought in Driussi mid-season. They brought Driussi in July.
Season, right? That's what I'm saying. Now you look at them this season; they're sitting like second, I believe it is, in the West, and really taking it to the team. So, not to get too far ahead.
An MVP candidate.
Yeah, I know, right? And so, not to get it too far ahead, but I just feel like if these boys or lads or fellows or players or whatever we want to call them can just get some honest time together and start playing, I think we're gonna have fun. But
Lee, I need to see more pep in your step, man.
What do you mean?
I'm telling you, we are sitting in a playoff spot. Like we've been playing in this 4-4-2. We haven't had our guys in there. But I'm saying I think that we are in a good spot to take that step and be good.
Yes, I'm not saying we're not. I mean, I guess I'm just focusing. Right. Yes, we are in the playoff spot. Right. And that's great. Right. I believe the aim of the team was to make the playoffs. And then they kind of dialed that back down. The point is, the league can lie sometimes, right? It can give you more confidence in what you really need or that you should have, or it can completely be bullshit and you could be just trying to whoop everybody and you just happen to lose that week, right? So my point is I want to see this team be faster, right? I get frustrated when all these possession stats and everything, we can have them all day long. But again,
the aesthetics of it.
Yeah, well, it's that. But then it's like looking at the Vancouver stats, right? Well, we had 16 shots and only 6 of them were on goal, right? And it's like, I don't know. I love the team. I love Charlotte.
It in. Vancouver was parking the bus. Like they were packing that in.
Box. I mean, there was only one player that was willing to shoot outside the box during that game. And at the time that went through the uprights anyways. But yes, I'm not saying Charlotte's doing bad. We're an expansion team. I wasn't sure what to expect this year. Again, most of the conversations I've ever had, at least early on, was as long as we're competitive, right? And we can see progression. So I definitely see that. I think it's just being frustrated knowing that we can do better. It's like your kid that comes back with a B+ and it's like, dude, if you just sat down for an extra hour this week, you could have probably pulled off a 4.0 for the season. It's just, yeah, it's one of those weeks, man. It's one of those weeks because I've still got a hangover from being frustrated with the game yesterday.
I love how you said hangover twice because that's a double hangover.
Well, I wanted to make it like I didn't have a headache hangover, right?
Of course, you've had plenty of time to hydrate through today. You've gotten some greasy food on your stomach.
Yeah.
You stayed up late last night. You decided to watch the game again. That probably didn't help, but whatever.
Yeah. So that's a good question, right? So who do you think starts in the midfield versus Seattle?
I think right now Brandt is the number 6. Obviously, they subbed off Brandt and brought in Derek Jones late in yesterday's game. So I'm expecting Brandt to be out there. I think Sergio is going to be out there. And if he's out there, I think Franco has been rested enough. I think it's going to be those 3 to start.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. I think you're right. And yeah, Big Ben's was a lot of fun last night. We had all the supporter groups: Mint City, Southbound and Crown, Blue Friera, Queens Farm, Mint Street Mafia. It was a good time. It was a good time. Anyways,
I was gonna say, I do like how Bronico, is bringing the attitude. Is really holding it down, and he seems and truly is honestly that pissed off and ready to throw down. And he's chippy. He's chippy, and I like it. I like it, even if we're not doing the best. And he was the one that was interviewed last night after the game. And it's just, I don't know. I love his attitude. And ever since we met him and stuff back in the day, I'm a big Bronico fan.
Yeah, he's doing.
And actually, that was another thing we did not bring up from last night, because Brant probably should have seen red. He probably could have had a second yellow a couple of times. But also, Edelman
They could have had a red too.
And
yeah.
Edelman easily could have seen red at the end of the first half.
Well, that referee definitely wasn't calling the game the same both ways, man.
Yeah, well, it wasn't as bad as the Vancouver game, because once again, that was like 16-3 in fouls in the Vancouver game. This game was much more level in terms of the foul share.
If you would have gotten a red card in a cup game, would that have played into MLS at all?
No, just into the cup. So
in that sense, it's like, especially, I don't know, at the end of the game, if you were losing, it's like, hell with it, rock and roll.
Yeah, start two-studding everyone.
It's a two-studding. Is that a dance? Is that a new thing on TikTok? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'd say Bronico definitely doesn't get enough credit. He's definitely been a player that I'm happy is doing well here in Charlotte.
And also, he was the first, face of the franchise. Like that one event, Noda or whatever, back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
When he first came on, when they first had the pop-up, Adidas, that whatever fan, whoever does it, that controls all the merch. But, Bronico was the first one they were putting on all the, everything. And then he was playing with the Independents. So I don't know, man. North Carolina guy, brings the attitude. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. And just remember, folks, there's more of you than I see entries. So if you want in on the giveaway, it'll be #trio to enter. Which
is actually a quattro. Why don't you bring it back up, man? Let's look at this from Adam real quick.
All right.
Yeah, see, everybody, before Lee was like, what's going to be the word tonight, to get into the giveaway? And I was like, well, there's Lindsay, there's Shinashiki, there's Fuchs. And I was like, let's call it trio. And then Goose down in the middle, I didn't even see him. I was like, damn, it's a quattro.
There's probably little Easter eggs all in that. There's probably like another player hiding inside of Jalen's mouth.
Yeah. Right. Just flipping somebody off. I don't know what Adam's up to out there. So score predictions for I believe it's Sunday. We play at 9:30, right?
9:30.
And we're gonna do a live watch along too on Sunday. So
we should have been plugging that the whole time.
Oh, we're plugging it now.
I know. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna do a live. Last time we did one, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's nice to be out there and be with our brethren and sisterhood while the game's going on. It's great.
Yeah, so we're definitely do a live show this Sunday. Probably start around 9:15ish and get everything set up and just kind of get the conversation going. And look, you saw that right, Vaughn. Vaughn coming with Jorge with the smile game. That's right. There's something about it, right? When you get in front of the camera, you just kind of cheese out, right? But yeah. So, anyways, Sunday we're doing a live watch along for Seattle. I think we're gonna get a 1-1. Vaughn, what do you think?
Man, it's tough. It could get really ugly. I'm gonna stick with a 2-2 draw. That's me being optimistic, man.
Right on. Fair. JT, what do you think, man?
I'm thinking. Let me just keep my honest eyes on it. I'm thinking the repeat of last night's score. I'm thinking 3-1 Sounders.
Ooh. I mean,
I just think it's been a gauntlet. I think it's been a gauntlet. I think, and still figuring out the fourth. It seems to me in a late game on the West Coast, it just seems to me like the boys, the lads, are just going to be like, I don't know. I don't want to say they're going to be tired. They're professional athletes, but that's a long flight, and having their whole schedule screwed up by the midweek game. which was also away. And I don't know.
And we're playing a unreal team in Seattle. Like
it's going to be a good
very,
test.
very good
It's gonna be
Seattle
a
team.
good test. Yeah, it's going to be a good test.
I mean, that's ripe for an upset, but at the same time,
It's right after Fuchs' bedtime, or maybe Ben Bender's bedtime. I don't know. It's
Definitely my bedtime. I do not stay up late. Anything.
I think it's like a 9:30 kick.
It is. Yeah.
Honestly, and it'd be completely different. It was 9:30 on Saturday night.
Well, that's like
I mean,
9:30
fair,
broadcast time. Kick's probably not till almost 10 o'clock.
I mean, be fair though. I mean, 95% of the people will be off Monday, right? Assuming when you get
Memorial Day. Yeah, duh.
Yeah. But anyways, so hashtag trio. We'll do a live show, a live watch along on Sunday. And so, is there anything you guys want to talk about out there? You just drop the questions in the chat while we wait for everybody to kind of put their entries in, and then we'll do the drawing and shut this thing down. How was your day, Vaughn?
It's great. Good day. Doing good. I see Chris Church saying roll Don hate. Which one are we bashing? Are we Alex, Christian? Which one are we going after here? Neither one's a good name. Oh well, Christian's a good name. We got a lot of Christians on the team.
A lot of Christians on the team, yeah. That's it.
Vaughn,
I was going to give Churchy a chance to answer.
How many teams were there in the original MLS when they first started?
8, I think was the.
Were the Sounders one of the first?
No, Sounders came into the league 2009.
Okay, because when I first started paying attention to MLS, was just seeing all the hype around, and of course it was probably ESPN helping the hype, whatever. But between the Sounders and the Timbers, and just how those two fan groups, and they just they seem to both be pretty good. But it always seemed like the MLS game of the week or whatever, if they ever pumped anything up. And so to me, whatever I can think about the Galaxy and stuff like that, but it always seems like the Sounders and the Timbers were the ones, and it's interesting to know that the Sounders are still doing so well and are kind of I don't want to call them the Patriots of going back to American football, but it seems to me like they've really been at the top of the mountain for a while.
They have set the standard for what a franchise in America can do, right? Like when they entered the league in 2009, it was not normal for a team to be able to play in an NFL stadium and fill it. And they bucked that trend. They proved through their model that could happen in the right market. So that was a big part of it. And then they started winning right away. They have made the postseason every year of their existence. I don't think they finished any lower than 4th in the Western Conference. We just got bounced from the U.S. Open Cup. Their inaugural season, they won U.S. Open Cup. I think they made 5 of the 6. I think their first 6 seasons, they made the U.S. Open Cup final 5 times and won it 4. And then they went on a stretch where they made MLS Cup 4 times out of 5 seasons. Like they have set a standard of winning and running their organization in a way that no other team in MLS has been able to replicate. They used to get under my skin. The fans were really annoying. Like they knew that they were good. But at the end of the day, I mean, mad respect to the Seattle Sounders organization because they do a hell of a lot right. And I think that's the reason that a lot of people want to emulate what they've been able to build.
Now it's time to get that ass. Come on, Sounders. Bring it, Sounders. You want to hear some sound? We're going to bring some CLTFC up on that ass.
The crown's going to take them off their throne.
Yeah, that's right. I was just making sure he was done. You good, JT?
Yes.
All right, guys. So we're going to do the giveaway. And if you haven't and you're new to the show, we appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button for us. It's all about the subs for us. We appreciate that. So Pound Trio, guys, if you haven't put your name in, this is your last chance. So
Pound Trio.
Hashtag trio or whatever you cool kids call it nowadays. So all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, draw.
I always want to do the sound effect. That.
Hey, Churchy.
Oh, Churchy, nice.
Yeah. So Churchy, I'll get you in contact with Adam, man, and then you can figure out how to get the pictures together and that kind of thing. Yeah, I just want to point out that
I failed at MLS trivia. It was 10 teams. They're talking about it in the chat, but it was 10.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Vaughn. I'm sorry. I didn't want. I
let everyone know.
You are vaunted. I didn't want to throw you a curveball like that, but I was truly curious.
I was 6 years old. Sorry, I forgot.
Hey, Scooch, nice meeting you too, buddy. And we went down to Columbia, Columbia to watch the game. That was pretty fun. And we in Heat. That was fun. And Frank Lee was in Heat. Or somebody was in Heat, and it was a lot of fun down there. So.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Also, if you go out to the tailgates, some of you guys are making some really cool shit, 3D printing and that kind of stuff, and go check them out, man, and just help the community, right? I guess is my point there, and just let's build this thing. Let's build this thing. And apparently, Sean chimes in with the Canes wins, and JT with the gotcha questions, man. And KC Guns. Just keep showing up, buddy. You're a winner in my book, man. You're a winner in my book. So that's it. So with that being said, what do you think, guys? Anything else you want to touch on that we may have missed? No? Come on, how can people find you?
At VI Pullman on Yahoo and on Yahoo. on Twitter.
On Yahoo.
Yeah, you can find me on Yahoo somewhere. I don't know.
Right.
But no, yeah, that's the best place to find me. I'm always jumping onto local podcasts, sharing my thoughts and opinions, and thank you guys for having me on here and letting me spew my thoughts. And thank you,
man,
everybody for listening too.
Yeah, that's it. Welcome, Jonathan, man. We appreciate you showing up, man.
What's up, Jonathan?
Show up every Wednesday. We got lunches.
Always a pleasure to have you on, man.
It is, Vaughn.
And your smile game is really good as well.
That's it. Yeah, your smile.
I got I had the braces. I gotta show it off every day.
All right, guys, we appreciate you. And like I said, if you're new here and you haven't before, please hit that sub button for us. We'll really appreciate it. We'll catch you Sunday for the live watch along. We'll probably kick that off around like 9:15, depending on when the game's actually going to start. We don't want to just sit here for an hour staring at each other. That's for sure. And y'all have a great Friday. Be safe and happy Memorial Weekend.